on the draft board, and the Knicks said, "Hey, we don't need those guys. We're good. We don't need SGA. I mean, we got Frank from last year and Jalen Williams. What if we got worthless future first round protected first instead?"
Yeah, that's a great idea. So, of course, as the basketball gods do, Jalen Williams got a career high 36 points against the Knicks because the Knicks should have drafted him. They didn't. And so now he's going to haunt the Knicks every time they play for the rest of our lives.
He might want the lead. He looks really real. I hadn't watched too much of Jalen Williams because I really just watched the Knick games. I know his numbers always look really good, and people talked him up. I think Bill Simmons said he's going to be a future All Star. And I know his game last night was they had the Knick effect where he played above what he normally would play. How could
Hmm.
he be? He had a career night. But man, he looked great on offense, great on defense. What is the team's biggest need right now?
The Knicks or the Thunder?
Well, the Knicks.
The Knicks need they need a consistent wing.
Yeah. What position does Jalen Williams play?
I know it's unbelievable. It's
It
unbelievable.
is unbelievable the guys they've passed over. Like, forget the whole idea of tanking. The Knicks have just blown draft after draft. And I guess, yeah, I mean, not, I mean, they've gotten some decent guys, and IQ is really good, and Grimes is decent, and so forth. But they really have had an opportunity to take a game-changing all-star year after year and have just missed it.
Well, I'm more annoyed that they just punted the last 2 years and didn't draft anybody.
Well, last
Which,
year they didn't punt as much as they traded away the wrong pick. But I mean, that was a bad whatever. But
well, they
it
punted
is
because
frustrating.
they had no players. They added nobody through the draft. So
Well,
it's
last year they traded their pick and kept the Dallas pick, thinking the Dallas pick would be a decent pick,
yeah.
and they lost. Whatever. That was Josh Hart was a great addition to the team, so I'm not that mad about it. The year before, when they just didn't draft anyone, and I guess the whole idea was they needed to get under the cap to sign Jalen Brunson. I'm just still not convinced they couldn't have drafted someone also. Like I know they traded Alex Burke right afterward, like Alex Burks and Nerlens Noel afterwards. The money was there. They could have figured it out with and still drafted. Like it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, you said it before. They could have stretched Kemba and not attached a pick to get rid of him.
Exactly. You stretch Kemp like you're like we have the 11th pick. How about we could use it and stretch Kemba? Nope, can't do that. We have to basically trade a first, give up our opportunity to draft at 11 just to move on Kemba's contract. It was so ridiculous.
So on social media, there seems to be a Knicks civil war going on about RJ Barrett.
Yes, there's two sides to this. The one side that thinks RJ Barrett is a bench player, is average at best, and is really holding the team back. And then there's the side that's delusional.
So part of the argument, I'm just going to throw out both sides. Part of the argument is that he doesn't have enough of a chance. He doesn't have enough opportunities on offense. So I looked into that. He takes the 58th most shots per game in the league.
Okay. So basically, there are 30 teams. So basically, you're
He
basically assuming he's like a second option on most
he
teams.
takes the same amount of shots as a second option on most teams. Yes.
Yeah.
So out of those 57 other players,
Yes.
58 other players, where would you think his effective field goal percentage ranks? Now, effective field goal percentage, for those who don't know, includes all shots, 2 pointers, 3 pointers, and free throws.
Yeah. And he's been getting the one thing he's done well this year is, well, he's always gotten to the free throw line, but now he's shooting better at the line. He's shooting a full like 10% higher. So
Hmm.
it's been really good there.
Yeah.
So there's 58 players that are taking as many shots or more than him.
Hmm.
Where does he rank?
Where does he rank 1 through 59?
I'm gonna say 59th because since he came back from the migraine, he has been absolute trash. If you look at his stats post migraine,
Hmm.
they're horrible. Pre migraine, they were like he was taking a step forward, but post migraine, it's been embarrassment.
So
So
if you
he's
said
59th, right?
59th, you would be exactly correct. Sorry, no, sorry, 58th. He
Oh,
is
50,
he
out of
is
58 players, right?
out of 59. He is the
Oh, who?
59th. Jordan.
Wait, let me guess. The player that ranks below him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see. We play this in 20 questions. Okay. Is he in the East?
No,
Oh, okay. My next guess was going to be Cade Cunningham. Uh, where's Cade?
I will look that up while you guess.
Okay. Is he on a team that's in the playoffs right now?
No,
Okay. Is he a rookie?
Cade's bottom 10.
Okay. Is he a rookie?
He is not a rookie.
Okay. I was going to say the dude on Trailblazers. Is he? Okay. Who is it?
It is Jordan Clarkson.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
never been an efficiency guy. But
Actually, sorry, he is 57th. Wemby has now moved into 58th place.
oh, I mean 59th place.
59th place.
Okay, well that's pretty good. So basically, you're saying RJ Barrett is better than the number one pick in the draft.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, like everyone's saying Wemby's going to be a future star, which I do agree with. So RJ is better than a future star.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good news, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's great.
The so I was listening to Locked On Knicks, which a podcast I appreciate. And they proposed the starting unit of Hart, Randall, Brunson, of course, and then two changes to the lineup: IQ and Hart and Josh Hart. So benching RJ and benching DiVincenzo in favor of IQ. What do you think?
I guess you're doing that because if you play Dante and
You're thinking that
quickly
Josh Hart
at the
can
same
guard.
time, you're like very small, right?
Yeah, not that Josh Hart's really huge at 6'4", but he seems to be able to play up a little bit, like guard bigger position. I think the Knicks have him at their power forward. Uh, what do you think of that move?
Josh Hart tweeted, "I am not a forward" on Twitter, by the way. I love Josh Hart.
Do you know, I love how out of position the Knicks are. The Knicks are just like, they have all these guards. They're everyone that plays small forward is playing out of position. Everyone that plays backup power forward is playing out of position. The Knicks need an extra center. What did they sign? A power forward to play center. I mean, everyone knows Taj Gibson is not a center.
It is.
They haven't even bothered to get a guy who is a real center for a backup.
It is a very, very weirdly constructed roster. They need to do a 2 or a 3 for 1 to just clear up some of the shooting guard mess.
I think they need to. They're going to have 2 first-round draft picks this coming year. Theirs and the Dallas pick, unless anything goes drastically wrong with Dallas. They should keep both picks and use them. I think getting a guy through the draft would be super important to this team and might be better than what you have, at least more upside than what you're going to get through a trade. I still want them, I'm totally fine with them making like a big trade, just not with this year's pick.
Yeah, I'd agree. Jamie says they should go after Ball. He's not playing that much in Phoenix.
I don't know what Ball really. I mean, he seems like a guy that like Detroit should go after Ball. Detroit's doing nothing anyway. All their minutes are just like garbage minutes anyway. Just see if you can unlock Ball.
So I have some Detroit news that is directly related to the Knicks, actually.
Are they? I saw they were winning tonight against Boston.
So, you know how the Knicks got an extra away game because of the stupid tournament, and they kind of got screwed.
By the way,
way?
Detroit's up by 13 points on Boston right now in the second. Just on big news for a team that's lost 28 games in a row.
Yeah, they'll be down by 10 by the time we finish this podcast. So you know the Knicks had an extra away game because of the tournament. They're giving the Knicks an extra home game, and that home game is Detroit. They switched it from an away to a home game.
Okay, so the league basically felt bad for making the Knicks play the Celtics and the Bucks a 5th time this year.
Yeah, so what they did is they gave the Knicks a home game in a game that they were going to win anyway. Also,
well, I mean, like, I don't mind this because at least it's like we're really going to lock in that this going to be a win.
I'm a little confused. Does Detroit now have a lopsided schedule where they have more away games? And is the NBA like, you guys suck so bad we just don't even care?
Every team that's lopsided has to like Detroit has to just like make up for it.
Detroit has like no home games. They're like, you guys, nobody wants to watch you anyway. You just stink.
Detroit's like, wait, I really don't understand this. Why do we have to sweep the floor at the Suns game? The crew wasn't there. You guys have to just sweep the floor. You got to clean up after everyone.
You know what they should do? They should just take away all the Nets home games because they don't really have a home crowd anyway.
The Nets last night played. You pointed it out to me, but they played the first quarter and then bailed on the game against the Bucks.
They were
Just
up,
sat everyone the rest of the way.
they were up by 8 against the Bucks after the first quarter and sat the starters the rest of the game. I've never seen a mid-game tank for a team that's in a playoff position.
Jock Vaughn said that Mikal Bridges had played 40 minutes the night before, and everyone played big minutes. So I guess he didn't think the game was winnable. Were they up?
They
I
were
didn't
up
see
by
that part.
8.
The league should fine Jock Vaughn and the
Yeah,
Nets.
they were
Like,
up by
that's
8 at the end of the
absurd.
first, and they sat the whole starting lineup except for Dennis Smith Jr. for the rest of the game.
I mean, and I guess playing Dennis Smith Jr. is a way of tanking.
Yeah, I mean, they ended up losing by 22, but
That's absurd.
it's pretty wild. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I've seen sitting all your starters on the second night. I've never seen playing them being up and then going, nah.
It must have been. I actually kind of wish I'd watched that net game because I'd like to have seen the commentators like
They must have
when
been so
they
confused.
realized those guys weren't coming back in.
Mhm.
Like the beginning of the second quarter, like oh they're going with an all bench unit. Like 5 minutes of the second quarter, like you think they bring back Mikal Bridges or someone right now, and then towards the end of the second quarter, they're like, what's going on here, guys?
It's absolutely insane.
Okay, so right, one of the things people are complaining about is Emmanuel Quickly's minutes
Mhm.
because he's been playing pretty well.
Yeah.
He's playing 5 minutes less a game this year. What happened to his 5 minutes?
Well, it's got to be shared with the other 7 shooting guards that are on the roster.
I mean, all those minutes have gone basically. Previously, Obi got like 15 minutes a game, 13 to 15 minutes a game. Dante DiVincenzo gets 20 minutes a game. He's basically DiVincenzo got Obi's minutes plus 5 from IQ because they had a share. I want to blame Tibbs, but I feel like you kind of have to blame Leon Rose for making this weird roster.
Yeah, I mean, because he's going to get the backup Brunson minutes, but that's only like 14 minutes a game.
Right.
And then you have to share with so many other guys for the rest of the minutes. I still think he should be getting more minutes, maybe at the expense of RJ.
Yeah, I think that's the reality the organization needs to face is that RJ is doing, if you want to win, RJ's doing the team a disservice. He's not playing well. If anything, RJ needs to earn his minutes back. RJ's playing 30 minutes a night. Reduce him to 20 minutes a night. Take out 10 minutes, 10 minutes of his time and see if he responds.
I mean, I know there's still some hardcore RJ defenders out there. Look at his stats. They haven't really changed in 4 years.
So if you just switched out RJ out of the starting lineup, kept DiVincenzo, just switch RJ for IQ. I mean, I guess the Josh Hart idea. So I guess the lineup with Hart and IQ, plus Brunson, Hart, and Randall has a fantastic plus minus. It's their best lineup, basically plus minus wise on the team for all their 5-man units. That's why it's being proposed. But even just switching RJ out and IQ in the starting lineup, I feel like you can make that work. I mean, I know the point guard situation with the backups isn't wonderful, but you could always maybe pull Brunson a little bit early and give him more minutes with the second unit. You can make it work.
Yeah.
But IQ has to play 30 minutes a night going forward. The minutes are too spread out.
Yeah, they are. And you know what? Dante was hot last night, and he only played 21 minutes as well.
There were some times also where I was like, even he's open and they're not giving. You got to keep feeding him when he's open. Whereas I also saw Josh Hart defense wasn't even they weren't even bothered guarding him at the 3-point line, which is because he doesn't shoot threes. And then RJ they're leaving open because they know he misses all his threes.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it hard to win when guys aren't shooting threes or just missing them. You have too many non-shooters.
Yeah, and I know we defend Randall a lot on this podcast, but there was 3 straight plays in the fourth quarter last night where he just felt like he was wronged and stayed back to argue. He didn't cross half court for 3 straight
Ah,
possessions.
the Randall experience is always frustrating, but on the positive note, since his bad 6 game stretch, he has been highly efficient from two. His 3-point shooting hasn't been great, but he's also just taking a lot less threes. He's pulled back.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just shooting twos. I'm going to bully ball. I'm going to go to the basket, and I'll shoot a couple threes a game.
He's shooting his second worst from 3 since he joined the Knicks, but he's taking over 3 less a game. He realized, I'm not good at this. I'm only going to take threes if I'm open, and it's improved his efficiency like greatly. His free throws are up. His field goal percentage is up. So
I mean, outside of
it's
him,
a good choice.
outside of him complaining about calls generally, and his defense has been okay. He's generally been pretty good this season. Like I think he's making a solid case for another All-Star team. Brunson's making an amazing case for another All-Star team, or
Yeah.
making for his first All-Star team. But so the Knicks beat the Bucks on Christmas Day. It was kind of awesome, and Brunson played amazing. Randall
Mhm.
had a nice game. The reason they won that game in part was because IQ played really well and RJ played pretty well. It comes down to you need more support. You can't just have 2 guys. You need other guys to play well. RJ shooting the ball 17 times a game is just crushing them.
Well, shooting the way, yeah, with his field goal
Yeah.
percentage, it's not great. It's not like you said, when RJ plays good, the Knicks win, but it doesn't happen nearly enough.
No, he does not play enough.
I mean, even in
He's
the Bucks
too
game, he had 14 at the half, and what did he end up with? 17? Or
he's yeah, he's too inconsistent. Like every once in a while he plays well. Like actually he's been consistently bad since post migraine. Like he has had very few good games.
yeah, it's been like 2 good games since out of the last like 20. It's really bad.
Um so my idea of RJ plus a pick for OG is looking better and better, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what his trade value is at this point. Like, other teams are watching. They gotta
Do you
see what's
think
going on.
the Pacers have two do they have 2 other terrible second round picks they can create us for RJ? I feel like on a team I was thinking not that I want to trade him for 2 seconds, and that'd be kind of ridiculous. But the Pacers are the kind of offense that RJ would thrive in. A faster offense.
Is it? Maybe.
Y- I feel like RJ would look better in a faster like the fact that I mean maybe he thinks the fact that he's very ISO heavy in this offense doesn't help RJ.
I mean, we said that about Obi, and he's not even starting anymore. So I don't know.
He got benched, yes. This is still a better version of Obi. He's playing better on offense. He's just not a good defender. When the Pacers are like, we're the worst defensive team in the NBA, and our worst defensive player is our power forward. We've got to make a switch.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't help
Uh,
that he's averaging like 3 rebounds a game as a starting power forward.
by the way, Pistons are up by 21. It's right by halftime.
Wow, maybe the streak will end.
The streak will end tonight.
Did they? I heard they might sit Tatum and Brown. Did that actually
Tatum
happen?
is playing tonight.
Oh.
No, maybe. Let me look at the box score. Maybe the Boston said after the first quarter, we're done.
Did
Looks like they're all playing Porzingis, Tatum, Horford, Holiday, and Derek White. The crew is there,
Wow.
and Detroit is lighting them up. Cade Cunningham is on goddamn fire.
I did
9
not
for 13,
have,
22 points.
I did not have Boston as the team that would end the Detroit losing streak.
So they're up 19 at half. This should be a really interesting second half.
Yeah.
Boston's like, hey, I don't know if we're gonna win a title this year. We are sure as shit gonna beat the goddamn Pistons. Okay, so do you think, as far as moving this team forward, actually we have a question about this. Let me bring up the question. So
We have a question. In the
Lavery
chat.
writes on Facebook, how long before the Knicks as a team organization make the next leap towards being elite contenders? What do you think is the timetable on that?
There is a rumor from somebody apparently close to the organization that says that the Knicks are finally going to make their big trade in early 2024.
Is that just a retweet from last year's rumor? Uh, like every year they just kind of carve off the number. Okay, okay, not 2, 23. Okay, not 3, 24. Uh, well, I guess to take the next step, the team has to just find ways to improve. I think we agree RJ would be an area, a place, and just getting a 3 would be a place to really upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
DeJounte Murray has been the big rumor lately. Some in the organization see him as an ideal fit, supposedly. What do you think about the DeJounte Murray rumors? He plays shooting guard, and I think the Knicks have a few of those. He plays point guard slash shooting guard.
I mean, there's also some smoke with that because the apparently he's with Clutch, and the rumor is Leon is meeting with Clutch this week to kind of like mend the fences because they've had a feud going on for a while. So
Clutch, I guess the Rich Paul, is that the guy?
yeah,
He used to work under Leon or just at CAA before going off and starting Clutch. That's part of the beef and part of the issue.
right. So yeah, apparently they left on bad terms, and they said they're never going to deal with the Knicks, and now it looks like they're looking to mend the fences.
Okay. I mean, it's always good when your team president can mend fences with other agencies that he's had a feud with. Bizarre that we need to do that. But what do you think of that? So maybe that rumor is maybe there's a strong possibility. What do you think of the rumor? So pairing, I assume in that trade will be some guards, so we don't have like 8 guys playing guard.
I'm guessing it would be something like RJ Grimes, maybe one other shooting guard, and
You think
and some
3
picks.
I feel like you don't think you think Atlanta wants players, not picks?
I think it would be at least 2 players and then a few picks.
Okay. The
I mean,
Is it gonna
whatever's
be
going
weird
on in
with
Atlanta
DeJounte
is not
Murray?
working. They're 12 and 18. They look like they're absolute toast. So they got to do something.
is it gonna be weird when DeJounte Murray gets to the Knicks and Tibbs is like, "Are you a small forward? Do you want to play small forward?"
Guess who's our new small forward?
On the one hand, DeJounte Murray has all-star capabilities. He's the kind of player that can light stuff up. He's a better shooter than, say, RJ. Trading RJ and Grimes for him wouldn't be crazy. He's a decent defender. He's looked especially good when he plays the Knicks. What do you think of Brunson and DeJounte Murray?
I think that's a good move. He's a good defender. He's not having like, the best season right now, but
No, he's not.
No, I mean, everybody in Atlanta kind of looks like garbage right now. I don't think he all of a sudden just got washed up.
No, I mean, the thing is, though, it's a weird move in the sense of like you're making your big move, you still don't have a 3.
Right. It's like we have 8 shooting guards, so we're going to go after a shooting guard.
Yeah, I mean, Murray, I guess is the. Sorry, say it again, Jay. You're.
Oh, I'm saying he's having
make one
his best season from the 3-point line.
Okay. I mean, you need 3-point shooting. He'd be an he's a fast guard. He can actually blow by people, which the Knicks don't have too many guys that. Even Jalen Brunson really doesn't blow by guys.
Mm-hmm.
IQ clearly does not blow by guys, and Randall rarely does. Sometimes he does, but it'd be nice to have a faster guard.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it's a
feel
good
like
move if
the team would be better, right?
yeah, the team would be better, and if you're not giving up too much, I think it's great. I still think you need to
If you can
upgrade
figure
the
out how to
RJ
get
position.
If you can get Murray and OG, I still think OG. I know there's a lawsuit between the Knicks and the Raptors, but I mean the lawsuit's over the fact that the employee left the Knicks and brought the legal information to the Raptors. It wasn't the other way around.
Yeah, but they were
I
saying
still
like
think
they
you can get
wanted like 3 firsts for OG. Like he's not that good.
Right, but you also like that's what he's going to be a free agent this summer. So if you just
Mm-hmm.
wait till the summer and he goes, "I want to be a Knick," and the Knicks are like, "We'll do a sign and trade," you don't think the Raptors would do that? Like I think it'd be tough to get mid-season, but I feel like the Raptors You're like, we'll take something versus nothing.
Maybe. I don't know what to think anymore after letting Van Fleet walk. Like I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, I just think you're going to try to rebuild that team, and yeah, it's Scotty Barnes. You're not looking to lose, so send RJ back to his home country. Maybe that makes a big deal there, and they can figure it out.
Maybe.
They can unlock the RJ.
Jamie asks, "Are we going to start benching players near the end of the season to be fresh for the playoffs?"
Um, I'd like to bench Julius Randle's ankle prior to the playoffs.
I don't think Tibbs would ever do that.
No, I mean
He's
maybe
not
the
that
last
kind of
game of the
coach.
season,
Maybe,
but
but
this is far. The Knicks still have to secure the sixth seed, which is not a guarantee. They got another hard game against Orlando coming up. They have a tough schedule.
yeah, yeah, they do.
I
Angel
mean, the Knicks.
writes,
Yeah.
nyknickspodcast@gmail.com. Angel writes, "Hey guys, I have two comments. First, for what it's worth, I like having longer episodes. I like hearing from my basketball friends, success or failure. I like hearing your thoughts." And
Oh, thank you.
thank you, Angel. And second comment, I think Brunson and Randall are all-star caliber players. They really don't need to be upgraded. That leaves our main upgrade targets to be at center and small forward positions.
Okay. Yeah, but I agree. It's over. Like you could win with Randall and Brunson. I just think you need a third option at the very least. You just need to upgrade the rest of the roster. What do you think of the center position? Well, if Mitch and Ihart are healthy, I think it's fine. But so this goes to the question we also had was who is the Nick writes on Facebook or maybe it was Twitter. Um, who is the answer via trade for center? Because Ihart ain't it as a starter. I think Ihart's been fine as a starter. I haven't had an issue with him as a starter. I think the backup role is ridiculous.
Yeah. Does that mean you're giving up on Mitch?
No, no, I'm just saying if you're trying to win this season, you try to make a move for. I still would just sign. There's got to be someone else. They signed that guy in the G League. That guy well, I can't pronounce his name, and he's never really going to play. The Russian guy, but they you try to you got to bring in someone else like Nerlens Noel, just someone else. Like this just a free agent right now, and give someone else who's a center. Like, is Taj Gibson really the best we can do at backup center?
I would be calling up Chicago and asking what they're doing with Drummond.
Would you trade for Drummond?
I mean, he's an expiring on a team that's should be tanking, so not much, but whatever they would take.
Kobe White's playing really well. Chicago's not quite tanking yet.
They're not quite tanking, but when Levine comes back and they start losing again, they'll probably be more willing to make a move.
I think Chicago might be willing to bench Levine. I think we've talked about last year. I think there are options you might want to try. I just think the option of Taj Gibson as your backup. Someone actually responded to us on Twitter was saying how in 2024 is Tibbs starting Taj? Which I also don't understand that response because I was like, what do you mean how is he playing Taj? I mean, that's his option. He doesn't have Leon Rose is the guy that's just I don't know what Leon Rose is doing. Can Leon Rose only focus on one thing? He's like, well, I got to work on this clutch thing. I can't deal with backup center right now.
One thing at a time.
One thing at a time. I just can't. I've got my naps. I just and I have to figure out how many trades I can make in the draft.
I don't know. Do you think Drummond would cost more than one of those protected picks in Sims?
I'll give up Sims, but I don't want to give up the protected just yet, just in case we need them for another trade. I don't know.
They're absolute garbage, by the way.
I give him Sims. Sims has proven to me that year 3, he's not good enough to be a backup. I'm fine moving on with Sims.
Because Drummond was only getting 15 minutes a game until Vucevic got injured. As soon as Vucevic is back, they don't really have a use for him again.
Do you think? What about Rokas? You could trade Rokas, the European guy who's never coming here.
Sure.
Though if they trade him, he'll immediately come to America and immediately be like putting up like a triple double.
Yeah, I don't think we have to worry about that.
Yeah, it's probably not happening. Supposedly he's okay, but he's not coming here, and he's not really that great either.
He's not even starting in Europe, right?
I haven't looked recently, but last year he was. I think he was. I don't know. His numbers weren't that great. He's not like. He's not exactly a star over there. His stats
Another brilliant move.
currently. His stats currently look like.
I'm sure it's amazing.
He's playing. He's playing about 19 minutes a game.
Blown away.
Blown away. Yes. So he's not a starter over there, and yeah, you kind of want the guy in Europe to be like, at least be like a star there before you bring him over here.
Look, anytime you could use a first round pick on a guy who's averaging 8, 2, and 3, you got to do it.
Who are you referring to?
Rokas,
He was a second round pick.
the second round.
Okay. He was actually like the 31st or 32nd. It was pretty much a wasted pick. I mean, it's a wasted pick either way, but you could have gotten someone decent there.
Yeah.
Um, whatever. You take a flyer on him. With no plan on how to get him here or anything like that. They took a flyer on Obi at the 8th pick with no plan on how to actually get him starter minutes. They took a flyer on having no one when Jalen. The crazy thing was, that whole season when the Knicks were bad, I was like, hey, Jay, this draft, this is probably going to be the Knicks' last time to draft high, so to speak. This draft, to move this franchise forward, you have to nail this pick. You have to nail this pick. There's going to be someone there. Like, this is such an important draft. And Leon Rose said, we really, really need a 3. And this guy looks really good. But what if we took no one instead? Bingo. Leon has done some great things also. I mean, you said you wanted to talk about Jalen Brunson, and Jalen Brunson has been goddamn awesome. And it is underrated how good of a move that was for to praise Leon Rose. He found a guy who another team did not appreciate, who was in Jalen Brunson, and brought him over here, and he immediately was a goddamn star.
Mm-hmm.
Brunson has looked amazing since he's been here.
Yeah.
Praise him, Jay.
He has, I think he's the only player ever to have his efficiency numbers right now. He's shooting 40-something% from 3 on a crazy amount of attempts. And it's the first time we're even seeing this kind of efficiency. It's
I don't know. Well, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
The first time you're saying Steph Curry was not as efficient or done this? Come on.
He's shooting 45%.
Yeah, Steph Curry does that. Are you new to the league?
45? 45 is like really, really high.
Do you really want to pull up Steph Curry's numbers? Are you really this crazy?
Steph Curry has only hit 45% twice in his career.
Oh, okay.
From 3.
But and on a ton of shots though.
On a ton of shots, but Brunson's taking 6 a game.
Okay, so currently Steph Curry is shooting 12 a game and shooting 41%. It's pretty goddamn amazing.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's like.
He's not Steph.
He's not Steph, but he's.
And by the way, when he shot 45%, it was almost on 12 a game also. But Jalen Brunson has been awesome. Like forget that. I'm not trying to deny. I'm not like saying he's not as good as the greatest shooter in NBA history is fine. But Brunson is having a god. You know when the Knicks traded for him, one of the things, and he was a good 3-point shooter in Dallas. So I don't know why this was the knock on him. But people were like, he's not really a 3-point shooter. I guess he shot like 3 a game his last year in Dallas, and people were like, he's great for the 2s, but he's not really a 3-point shooter. He's been goddamn awesome for 3 this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he was 41% last year. He's shooting 45% this year. The shooting more 3s, and he's been great inside. He does. The Knicks. I asked this question on Twitter this week, and what's your answer? Jalen Brunson is the best Knicks since. Fill in the blank.
The best Knicks since. I'm gonna say Ewing.
Yeah, I think there's only one answer. I mean, it might be crazy like that. I think it's all Knicks fans. A lot of Knicks fans don't like Randall anyway. They'd say he's better than Randall. The guy in between is really Melo.
Mm-hmm.
Melo is not this efficient. Brunson has looked awesome, and he's looked awesome in the playoffs. The dude is just I guess he's not a 1A according to Becky Hammond, but he's been goddamn
Yeah, I
he's an
mean,
all he's
Melo
great.
Melo was great. He had the ability to completely take over games, but he was inconsistent. And when Brunson has a bad game, it's like news. It's like, wow, Brunson
Yeah.
wasn't good today. Like you expect him to just be awesome every game, which is it's a rarity.
And Brunson takes over games also.
Hmm.
He has been I think we are underappreciating just how goddamn good he has been.
Yeah,
He has been like it's just like I mean the nice thing that Leon Rose did is like, hey, I'm going to get a all-star, a guy that's worth a max contract and get him on a really good deal also.
yeah,
Like
yeah. That's true.
that's
It's a
a
good deal
huge
too.
upgrade to the roster.
Yeah, I remember when people were saying, "Did the Knicks pay him too much?" He's first of all, he's got a declining contract, which
I mean, no one's saying that now, obviously. Everyone was
yeah,
like, I don't know, he was kind of a backup there. Is he really worth this money? And now everyone would give him a max contract without a hesitation.
yeah, yeah. Which the Knicks will have to think about after next season because he's probably going to decline his player option and ask for like
Yes,
40 million.
he is it wait, is it after 4 years? He has the player option?
Player options in 25, 26.
That's fifth year? I can't do math, Jay. Uh
That's his
25, so
fourth year. His fourth year is a player option.
after his fourth year.
No, his fourth year is the player option.
God damn it. So they have to max him soon, which is just like so the Knicks need to make a move before then when they can find a way with the cap before you have to max him.
Yeah, but
Yeah, my worry is the Knicks are going to trade away a bunch of firsts. The team's not going to be that much better, and we're like, okay, now we don't have any draft picks until 2030.
well, I don't know. Hopefully they make the right trade and keep some picks and actually nail a draft pick, and then the Knicks will be set.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean you could also keep one of them and trade one of them for this year. I'd like to draft two guys in the first round, see what do a little bit of developing also. But so DeJounte Murray, you approve of that. I am skeptical about his addition, but if you limit the amount of firsts, like if you basically if you trade for him, but you have enough to get a second guy, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I think you have to answer the three. I don't know who else the options are at three. Like who else are the good options at three? Because obviously Mikal Bridges would be amazing, but he doesn't seem to be available.
Right.
I'm sure last night at the game when like end of the game, Tibbs like went up to OKC and was like, RJ right now for Jalen Williams. We'll do it right now.
I know. I know. That's the problem. It's like if you just didn't punt on the draft, you'd probably be all set with roster wise.
So NBA free agents 2024. Do you want to know who our options are at small forward?
Sure.
Assuming you can do a sign and trade. But like obviously like getting a center, like your Mitchell get back, you can try to find another center. That's not as big a deal. But like this is a big deal, small forward. Here are the options, and let me know what you think. Gordon Hayward,
No. Too injured.
and old. He's 30. He's 30. He's 33 right now. I'm gonna turn 34 soon. DeRozan, great shooter from two.
If they get maybe.
Marcus Morris,
No.
not a good option.
No.
Doug McDermott,
No.
not a good option. Nicholas Batum, not a good option. Royce O'Neal from Brooklyn, not an amazing option. Here's one. I got one for you, Jay. He is a young player, super talented, has a problem with domestic violence. Miles Bridges. What do you think? The answer is no, Jay.
Yeah.
There's no way we bring Miles Bridges here.
Yeah.
Seti Osman, Otto Porter, Jay Crowder, Reggie Bullocks. Ooh, I got one for you, Jay. Kevin Knox.
So I'm not blown away by this list.
Do you know how old Kevin Knox is?
25.
24. It feels like we drafted him a lifetime ago.
It does. It
Uh,
does.
I'll
Drafting a
give you
guy like
one.
Knox with a top 10 pick does age you a lot.
Yes. Well, at least there was no one after him. At least there was no one drafted after him that looks like a top five player in the NBA when we played them last night. You could get Atikum. I still can't say his name after all these years. Atikum Pope. You could get the Greek Freak's brother. What do you think? We had him once.
Yeah, so this it's probably gonna have to come via trade because that is a poor, poor list.
Yeah, it's a really poor list. I don't know why it doesn't include um OG on this list. What am I missing here?
It
Oh,
pro-
I'm looking at unrestricted free agents. No, I thought he's an unrestricted free agent. If I look at restricted free agents,
Mhm.
um, Patrick Williams, Sadiq Bey. What do you think about Sadiq Bey?
I mean, that would be a secondary move after you trade for a star, right? You can't.
Uh,
The Knicks can't be like, Leon
I
Rose
got one
like
for you.
mission accomplished. I got Bay.
Well, yeah, I feel like this is two moves. Jacob Toppin is playing in the G
I
League.
mean,
He's
unless you
looking
do
okay.
the Sadiq Bay is the second player in that trade because he's also on Atlanta.
Yeah, that's what some people are talking about. And like you get him and so you get Sadiq and you get
Murray,
Murray, and you could be as good as Atlanta.
right?
Why is Atlanta so bad? They don't play a lot of defense, I guess.
Was Trey Young a fluke?
Trey Young still puts up decent stats, but I feel like he's a hard player to win with. He's so ball dominant. He also doesn't really play off the ball that well. He's a very frustrating player to play next to.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't know. They're very sinking ship. It's always weird to take like two guys from a sinking ship. I don't know if Sadiq is the answer to three, but at least he's a decent fill-in. That's also the idea of like keeping your two first-round picks and then drafting two small forwards this with your first-round picks. Maybe one of them turns into a decent player.
interesting strategy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we did that 2 years ago, we might have had Jalen Williams.
It's
But I do think you have two first-round picks. Try to keep them. Try to see if you can find a center, a backup center, and find a small forward or two small forwards. This team needs to get bigger. Um, but I'm not against the DeJounte Murray trade as long as you don't give up too much, even though Atlanta wants a ton for him. So whatever. Larry Marketing would be nice. Do you think we should give 18 first rounders for him?
Danny Ainge is like out of his mind.
What would you give for so marketing? Of all, I mean, obviously, I guess if order of preference, I think Mikal Bridges is number one. OG's up there for me. What would you trade for marketing? If like Danny's in the phone is like, hey, just want to get him out, get him to the East, not the West. I'm not gonna go insane. Give me your best offer.
RJ
And remember, he doesn't want RJ anyway, as he didn't want RJ for the Donovan Mitchell trade.
yeah, I know. Still RJ.
He wanted Grimes. Grimes is available.
RJ Grimes and three of our finest protected first round picks.
Yeah, I would do that. Getting marketing here would be a huge upgrade.
Yeah.
That would be nice to have another true deep threat. Got size. He can play small forward. He can play power forward. That would be pretty awesome. I hope. I don't want this to be a severe injury, just maybe a temporary injury where Danny Ainge hits his head, kind of has temporary amnesia, and accidentally trades Market into the Knicks. And then he's fine thereafter. No long-term injury.
That would
just
be
a
like
minor
the
one.
exact player the Knicks need.
You don't think that's the player? Who do you want?
No, I said that would be the exact player the Knicks need.
In order of preference, what's your order of preference? Your top three guys you would like to get small forward.
That are gettable?
That are remotely gettable.
Yeah, I mean it would probably be Lowry at number one.
I take Bridges, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe Bridges, Lowry, and
I say OG, and I really think the fact, and then like it's not like I didn't come up with this, but like the fact that he is connected to Leon Rose, I really think that's happening this summer. Like I would be, I'm gonna put it at 40%, 50% maybe that it's happening this summer. I really think something's there. The Knicks are not talking it up right now, but like they need a small forward so badly. He's going to be a free agent,
That has to
and
be
he's
like
represented by like Leon's son. Like this is happening.
it has to be the second move though. That can't just be
No, no, you're right. You have to make two moves. I
yeah.
totally agree with you. But at least that would be a major upgrade, and you can make another move from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell, I do not think is going to be a Knick.
The Knicks. The problem is, by the time he's a free agent, the Knicks are going to be so capped out, they're not going to be able to do it.
I don't think he's going to make sense anyway. I don't think it's happening. Um, in some way, I mean, like, it just fit why. I just don't think like even DeJounte Murray, who's not as good of a player as Donovan Mitchell, makes some more sense because he has size.
He has size and he's a good defender.
I saw on somewhere on Reddit, on Knicks Reddit thread, where someone was saying, you know what's not been really been talked about this season? The Knicks are kind of a small team. And to which like 15 people responded, "What are you talking about?" That's all people are saying on this on Reddit.
There was the OKC's bench was a lot smaller, but their starting lineup, I felt like all five positions they were bigger than the Knicks.
Well, they also everyone's super athletic. They've made the point in the telecast last night. They have guys in this roster who'd be playing more minutes elsewhere, but like they have so much talent on that team. SGA looks insane. He looks so good. Seeing Chet Holmgren in like I hadn't really watched too much of him. I'm like, holy shit, that guy's gonna be goddamn amazing.
Hands down, he's winning Rookie of the Year.
Hands down. And he looks so like his whereas like I see Wemby doing guard like stuff, and I'm like, what the hell's he doing? Chet can kind of pull it off. He's awesome. He seems to know what he's doing. The Jalen Williams looks awesome. The support, like they've got a really I would not be surprised if they end up in the finals this year. I think they're that good. I think if everyone stays healthy, they're gonna surprise people in the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. One. Remember when the East and West was even for like a year, and now the West is like super deep again?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm fine with that. Send everyone to the like make it the easiest path possible for the Knicks.
Yeah.
Let's see. Before we go, Jay, let's just do a quick update. What do you think the score is of the Celtics Pistons game?
I'm gonna say the Celtics pulled to within 14.
Okay, we are 6 minutes to go in the third. It is a 7-point game.
Here we go.
The Celtics went on a 20-8 run to start the third quarter. Let's see what happens. Cade is. Let's see if Detroit. I mean, they didn't get their 2 wins for nothing. They know how to fight back.
At halftime, the coach was just like, "Really? You're really gonna lose this game?"
You guys have no like just no heart. Like, come on, you cannot lose it. That's the thing. Like I know like you can win. Any team could be any team on a given night. And certain teams, like if you're playing like a top team, you're kind of like expecting to really gun for them. But I also think when you're playing an average bad team, you're not always like you let your guard down. But when you're playing a team on a 28 game losing streak, you don't let your guard down because you're like, we can't lose to them.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, with like every loss, they're gonna be trying even harder to like, because now it's just embarrassing. Like they got to end the streak.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. The so you want to look at the Knicks? By the way, Obi is still on the bench tonight. And he's played 14 minutes, so it's actually pretty like a bunch of minutes through the first half. So, but he is on the bench. You think I don't want to hate on Obi really, but I just like I'm not really hating on Obi. I wish him the best. I'm just hating on all the Knicks fans that were like Obi's amazing, and he should start over Randall. And like, I hate the Knicks where they stand guys that aren't that good.
Yeah. So the
Okay,
Knicks have played 6 more away games than home games so far, and
Yeah.
6 out of the next 9 games are also away. So this has been a great.
The Knicks have a lot of home games coming up.
Yeah, the second half of the season is going to have a lot.
Yeah. So they got coming up. They got Orlando tomorrow night. Indiana, we get to see Obi on December 30th. New Year's Day, they got Minnesota and probably Chicago. The next 4 games before we do our next show, probably next Thursday. What do you think's going to happen? Orlando, Indiana, Minnesota, Chicago. Those are 4 pretty tough games.
They are. I'm going to say they win 3 out of 4, though, losing the
Um,
Minnesota game.
I am going to call it now. I don't think Obi's going to have an amazing season. I don't think he'll play on. I don't think he'll even be on the Pacers next year. But on Saturday night, Obi puts up 40 points against the Knicks.
Yeah, career high.
And you know he's going to have an amazing monster game. That's just how
Absolute
it works.
career high. You could mark it down right now. I am.
Yeah,
I am
like
betting on the over. Now that we can actually bet, I am actually going to put money on Obi on the over because it's almost a lock.
it's a lock. Obi will hit 14 threes.
Mm-hmm.
He will play. He will have the game-winning block of Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
It'll be something crazy. Will have. Like, he's going to have like, whatever the under over is for his points. There's never been a greater lock. You should. This is not official advice. Just a casual fan's advice. You should bet every dollar you can get your hands on for the over for Obi's points. Can you see right now what the over under is for his points?
No, I don't think they set it till like the day of.
Okay. I'm going to assume it's going to be something like 12 or 13. He's going for 40.
Yeah.
I don't think you should bet 40, but you should bet over whatever Vegas says.
Do you think I can pay off my mortgage by next year if I just bet the over on whoever the Knicks are playing to hit more threes than the spread? Because
That would probably be.
seems like every single game, like it's we're 30 games into the season now, and they're just not guarding the 3-point line.
Do you think you could be retired already by just betting the over? It's like betting on the Nick effect?
Yeah, you just pick like who's the 7th man on this roster, over $100 million, and it wins every time.
Yeah. You could retire off just betting on the Nick effect. Just pick like the random guy who's going to go off every night. But I do think you should sell all your crypto and bet it all on Obi going over on Saturday night.
Maybe I will.
I actually am going to look. I haven't made too many bets. I don't gamble all that often, but I think I might look into this and bet on this also. Let's do this, Jay. Let's make a lot of money Saturday night.
So, what's your prediction for the next 4?
Oh, okay. They are going to beat Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to lose to Indiana. The combination of Obi having his revenge game and Halliburton just being hard to stop. Minnesota is going to be tough. They're going to lose to Minnesota. Knicks fans are going to want to rebuild, blow it all up. Then they're going to beat Chicago, and Knicks fans are going to be like, everything's fine.
We're gonna make it to the finals this year because we beat Chicago by 30.
Yeah. Basically, that's exactly how it will go. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so we are NY Knicks Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon. nyknickspodcast@gmail.com. If you want to email us, and at NY Knicks Podcast on YouTube. We do the shows live, so you can join the chat. And we also do live on Twitter and Twitch. We are Crumpled Bacon on Twitch.
Oh, by the way, I know last show we started going over the bad teams and trying to make trades with them. We will return to that segment next show. We'll keep adding it in at the end of the shows. Some trade ideas. I like the idea of going through the worst teams and trying to come up with trades.
Yeah. So I think the rumor said that the Knicks aren't going to make trades till 2024 because January 15th, a bunch of players become available to be traded. So,
Jay, you are telling me on December 28th the Knicks aren't going to make any trades till next year. That's crazy.
yeah. Well, I mean, they lost, so you'd think they'd panic trade and pull the trigger. But
I'm shocked the next 3 days they're not making a trade. That just sounds ridiculous to me. I think you're wrong, Jay.
But yeah, I'd keep January 15th on the calendar. Something might happen around then.
4:40 to go in the third quarter. Pistons are up by 1.
I can't believe. Well, I can, but I can't believe how quickly that 20-point lead evaporated.
I mean, that locker room at halftime must have been just insane. They're just like, Tatum, if you don't win tonight, you should just retire from basketball.
All right. So thanks for listening, everybody. We will be back probably next Thursday, and hopefully talking about 4 wins.
Yeah. That would be awesome. And we're talking about how we were completely wrong about RJ, and he had the week of a lifetime.
Well, that won't happen, but talk to you soon.
We're gonna be just why not? Just be all optimistic. Just be like 4-0. RJ has an amazing week. Knicks also trade for Jalen Brunson because the OKC wanted IQ, or sorry, they wanted we're gonna make it crazy. They wanted Evan Fournier really badly, and Wemby was somehow thrown into the deal. Okay.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave you. It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone. Feels so good to say goodbye. I'm sick and tired and I'm saying goodbye. Goodbye, girl.
Goodbye, 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 everybody.
All right.